Happy Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. This is the WFCU Center and a jam-packed Sunday afternoon matinee. One game right here, the 401 tilt for the last time this season. Or is it? The London Lightning play the Windsor Express. This is Aaron Sanders alongside JP, Justin Prince. We welcome all of you back to Knockstrom.tv. JP, talk about the London Lightning first. Aside from them, they haven't had enough breathing space. The last game they played was Wednesday. They dealt with a couple of scratches. With one thing for sure, Julian Boyd is out. But considering how everything is, you look at the stat line, it's going to be a pretty close game for them, and they're going to be put to the test.
Yes, if you look at the stat lines, both of them have very close statistics other than, of course, the points per game. London still has 115 points per game compared to Windsor, whose points total around 105-ish. But both of these teams on paper, down the stretch here at the end of the season, are close statistically and have been playing very close and consistently. Both of them playing the best basketball they've been playing all season at the perfect time right now. With the scratches you mentioned there, Garrett Williamson, of course, serving a one-game suspension today, for example. Well, that could make a factor, but of course, London also has their deep bench. We'll have to see how Windsor counters with theirs.
And you talk about Windsor, here he is, Logan Stutz's first home game in a Windsor Express uniform. A atmosphere he's very similar with, he's very accustomed to. You talk about the Windsor Express, they had plenty of breathing space. They haven't played since last Wednesday when they were down at London, lost a heartbreaker there. How do you see them coming out of the gate tonight?
I can see them trying to make a statement early because, of course, London is known for the fast-paced offense, and they want to set the tempo. I think Bill Jones wants to make a statement and set the tempo against the number one team in the league right now and try and prove that, oh, hey, we're here too. We have a shot here once the playoffs get underway because we are about almost a week to go on the season, and they are trying to prove themselves that they can make a run all the way to the finals.
And you better believe it. We quickly go to the keys of the game. If you're the London Lightning, do you put all your willpower into the front court or do you let the back court do the work?
Well, we were talking about this during our pregame show on Facebook Live. It was definitely about the guards because it's definitely a lot of offense going to be coming from them. Kyle Johnson, you have Junior Cadogan as well. Well, with Windsor, you also have Tony Bennett. You have everyone, Darren Duncan, Maurice Jones. It's going to be a lot of offense coming from those guys at the guard position. But I think the big men are also going to be a factor here because if you can get the rebounds, you can have the more shots and the more chances. Whoever can dominate the offensive rebounds may have a shot to win this game and may be the victorious team at the end.
And the Windsor Express, if you have to sum the whole game down to one thing, what would it be?
The one thing it would be is trying to get players like Royce White off the rhythm. If Royce White struggles, they have a good shot. It'll be interesting to see how, for example, Logan Stutz matches up against White. We'll have to see once things get going.
And we're going to see how this 401 tilt will go right now. JP is going to be on play-by-play. I'll be on color. So we will see you folks upstairs right after the anthem and starters. You're watching the Windsor Express on Knockstrom.tv. We'll be back.
assisted thousands of newcomers to Canada from over 100 lands to integrate successfully and contribute to the social, cultural, and economic fabric of our great community. MCC invites you to explore the world this summer through the Carousel of the Nations festivities. We're about to welcome the flags of many nations, ladies and gentlemen. The flags appear in front of you. Argentina, Australia, Bosnia, Brazil, Chile, China, Colombia, Croatia, El Salvador, France, Germany, Ghana, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Lebanon, ladies and gentlemen, Nepal, the Philippines, Poland, yes, Romania, Russia, Singapore, South Africa, Spain, Syria, Thailand, the United Kingdom, the USA, Slovakia, and ladies and gentlemen, the flag of Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. And please join Ava Etzel in singing of our wonderful national anthem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce the starting lineup for the visiting London Lightning, presented by Tourism Windsor, Essex, Dealey Island. Number 1, Kyle Johnson. Number 5, Junior Kudu. Number 12, Marvin Singleton. Number 30, Royce White. And number 44, Ryan Anderson. The head coach of the London Lightning is Mr. Kyle Julius. Bakersfield School of Medicine for taking part in the high five symbol.
It's a near full crowd here at the WFCU Center as we're all set to go for today's action between the Windsor Express and the visiting London Lightning. I'm Justin Prince, alongside me is Aaron Sanders, and we're here live here on Knockstrom.tv. We'll send it down to the floor as Donis Willis speaks to the fans.
Today I want to simply invite you out consecutively. 5 years in a row, we've been in the playoffs. So this year, rounds 1 and 2 will not be at home. So those boys, they need your support. And we're playing in Lakeshore this year. So I want to be very clear. We need your support out in Lakeshore to come out and support the boys in their pursuit. So I'm looking forward to it. Our first game is the 5th of May, and the 7th is the second game. So come on out, we need your support.
And with that was Donis Willis, the president and CEO of the Windsor Express. As one of the main things broken last week was a press conference the team held to explain they would be holding their playoff games this year in Lakeshore at the Atlas Tube Center, as the Memorial Cup in the CHL, will be here at the WFCU Center. And with that, how do you feel about today's game, Aaron?
I feel alive. I feel like I have lightning inside me. It's ironic considering we cover both teams, but I believe it's going to be a close one, and I'll lay it down 10-1 to you folks. Somebody's going to score at least 103 points. You look at it, the Express have now averaged 101 points a game. London Lightning average 115, so both teams going to average 100 points. And here's an excellent fact right here, JP. The season series, even though London's leading at 5-1, the Lightning has averaged 107 points going up against the Express, and the Express, on the other hand, have averaged 103. The average margin has been 10 points. I don't think it's going to be a double-digit game tonight.
I don't think it is going to be either, because this could be a very close one right down to the finish. Now your starting lineups here for tonight's matchup. The London Lightning have Kyle Johnson starting along with Junior Cadogan. Marvin Singleton also starts along with Royce White and Ryan Anderson. While your Windsor Express starting for them, Juan Patillo, Logan Stutz in his home debut, Warren Ward, Darren Duncan, and Wally Ellenson.
Thank you. Our DJ for 5 years has been this gentleman standing beside me. So a lot of the rhythm that you have danced to for 5 years is definitely been choreographed put together by this gentleman here. I'm going to let him say a few things. He is definitely our DJ, and we're proud of him.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. The past 5 seasons have been really amazing. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys know, but I have been battling cancer since 2009. And unfortunately, my health is not cooperating right now, and I'm not able to continue on with the season. But you'll see me here screaming, talking, you guys already know how much I believe in this organization, I believe in this team, I believe in the fans. You guys, make some noise for yourselves. These guys are the most amazing fans out there. Thank you, everybody.
And a standing ovation here at the WFCU Center as apologize for breaking in before the last words there, but very touching words from him there, that's for sure, as the Windsor Express give him a hug at center court. I know we've had our discussions with him a lot, actually, as you are giving him a standing ovation as well, Aaron.
I'll tell you this, JP. He was one of the first guys that I talked to when I started covering the Windsor Express back in 2014. That was their second year, their first championship banner year. And he's one of the most dedicated, loyal people out there in the Rose City. One of the best DJs around. I mean, he's very passionate about the sport. about the league, but most importantly, a passionate guy for the Windsor Express. Been there since day one. Quite bittersweet to see him go what he's going through right now, but much love for him. Hats off to him. A very courageous fellow. Wears his heart on his sleeve.
Indeed, we hope he gets better soon. Of course, suffering from cancer since 2009. As on that note, we are all set to go here at the WFCU Center for action, as this is going to be a fun one to watch. We'll have to see how these two teams play out. The 1 and 2 teams in the Central Division are set to face off.
And what could be a very potential Central Division Finals matchup. Nobody has any doubts that it's not going to happen, because it might happen.
Indeed, right now with the way these teams have been playing, they've been playing like champion contenders. As Patillo wins the tip over White, and we're underway here in Windsor. Ward guarded outside by Anderson. Gives it to Patillo. Poked loose by Cadogan, and Duncan saves it. It won't count as a backcourt.
See, it's that backcourt matchup we were talking about earlier. That's going to be very crucial tonight.
And Juan Patillo with a jump shot. Misses off the rim. Rebounded inside by Singleton. And here comes the London Lightning. Cadogan gives it to Singleton. And Cadogan will set up the offense. Anderson coming around looking for the pick from White. Gives it to White. Finds Anderson in the paint. Can't get the handle. Bobbled loose again by Johnson. Down to 2 on the shot clock. He gets it off. And it goes in off the bank shot.
Well, the way Kyle Johnson's been playing the last few games, JP, that shouldn't be surprising. This is a guy who scored 51 points earlier this season, and it's those type of shots that gets him up and running, whether if it's luck or good shots based off great plays.
He didn't score that much on the 19th against Kitchener-Waterloo with 7 points, but the games before that, 31, 24, and 31. As Warren Ward hits the triple on the outside and ties things up at 3.
So far, I'm liking how this game is going. Windsor's really setting up on plays, but London Lightning, they're getting their numbers done the way Windsor's pressuring them.
And Singleton answers back with a 3.
2 for 2 so far for London, especially beyond the arc.
Well, we did mention Windsor was the #1 team in the league coming into today in 3-point percentage as Duncan misses inside. And both teams have made all their shots from outside so far.
And really keeping up the speed, too.
Indeed, as Singleton for 3. He can't get it this time. Rebounded by Ward. 10 minutes left to go here in the first. 6-3, London. Stunts in the post. Posting up, going around Singleton, and he puts it in.
His first home basket, too, and that's where he does his business. Right there, right inside the post, has no hesitation, well, except for that play right there. A really speedy demon when it comes to the post.
And Singleton, meanwhile, tries to draw the foul on Stutz, and he loses the handle. It's caught out of bounds. Windsor ball.
Now you've seen Stutz doing his business in the post. That translated on the other end. I mean, he's one of the most shifty players when it comes to the post. Once you get him into the high post, there's no point in stopping him. And he has one of the greatest box-out games that you will ever see in this league.
Well, on a second, and that's going to be a whistle off the ball. And that's going to be an inbound on the side.
And I find it a sheer coinkydink that Logan Stutz does his work in the mid-low post, because that's what Nick Evans used to do before he went away. So far it's looking like a really great move for the Windsor Express.
Indeed, right now, as Anderson saves it from going out of bounds on the rebound. And they'll slow things down as Johnson gets the pick from White. Goes for the pick and fade. White handles it back to Johnson. Into the corner for 3, misses, rebounded by Ward. And Warren Ward now with his second rebound of the game.
That was a good trap by Windsor, especially when they were in the corner. They knew what to do right there.
And there's another foul on the floor as Darren Duncan lost the handle.
London fouls number 44, Ryan Anderson.
And Ryan Anderson will get his first personal, team second foul on that one.
And defensive boards are important when it comes to these two teams because they're ranked really low when it comes to the D boards. Windsor's in 8th place, London's in 6th.
We'll have to see how that factors into today as Ward drives it in and makes it. Windsor's got the lead.
I'll tell you, folks, if you can't put a body on Warren, it's going to be War and Peace. Can't beat that.
Indeed, already 5 points on the game so far as White down low, rejected by Batillo. Stutz gets the rebound, Duncan gets it, pardon me. Paul poked loose on the fast break. Ellenson fighting for Anderson. Scramble for the ball, trying to get a jump ball. Stutz gets it. Ward stops it. Darren Duncan will reset the play with 10 on the shot clock.
And it's 2nd and 5 on the 1-yard line, JP.
A crazy possession there as Stutz for 3. Misses, rebounded by Singleton.
What an incredible sequence from both clubs, staying on the hustle, making sure they stay on the ball because that's where everybody capitalizes.
Speaking of hustle, Stutz gets it on the steal as London lost the handle, whistle called. And it looks like Stutz will go to the line to shoot 2.
Now Stutz had the upper hand once he got the ball. He was scrambling for the ball just a little bit, but he realized he had the double team up front. He maintained his balance. He went right inside. He knew the double team was going to go right at him like gangbusters, and he capitalized on that contact too. And now he's off to go for 2 shots.
And Stutz will shoot 2 here. Of course, he was the 2015 NBLC MVP with the Niagara River Lions last season and joined the Windsor Express last week. In his first appearances with the team, he scored 17 and 18 points off the bench as Patillo gets the rebound on his free throw. Patillo drives it in and slams it!
And once again, those corners are very pesky, but it's no challenge for Juan Patillo because he has that speed to build that up for him, so he just drove right inside. London was too late on the switches.
And Johnson, meanwhile, calling the play off the top. Anderson gets it down low to White. 6 on the clock. White spin move in the post. Misses. Good contested defense there from Patillo. And Duncan driving in. White trying to get the block, and Duncan can't make the adjustment. Misses the layup. Johnson will stop. Finds Maurice Bolden for 3. Misses. Scramble, and that's going to be Windsor ball.
It's a good setup for Maurice Bolden. Most of you know that he played for the Express last year. A crucial asset when it came down to the stretch near the end of the season into the middle of the playoffs. So, I mean, safe to say his presence is dearly missed, but London capitalized on picking him up when they needed a lot of players to back up.
Marvin Phillips now in the game as well for London. As Patillo sizing up Phillips. Spin move. Stops. Finds Stutz. He'll pull out. Finds Ward. Back to Stutz. 2 on the shot clock, and that's going to go out of bounds. London ball.
Stutz pressured. Stutz was feeling a little bit pressured right there, knowing time was running down on the shot clock. He had a good look for Patillo, but he threw that 1 mile too many.
Indeed, right there. As that's going to be turnover number 1 for Windsor. As there's the missed shot, rebounded by Ward, and he puts on the Jets. He stops, pops, misses off the rim. And Anderson will bring it down for the next break. And Duncan will help slow down London's offense on this possession. Trying to get the reach in, and he's going to get called for the foul.
Only Windsor's first team foul. Darren Duncan staying on the ball, especially at the top, making sure that any pressure that comes along Anderson's way, he wouldn't be able to break away from it.
Duncan hasn't been scoring so far, but there's a made shot meanwhile there from Kyle Johnson, but he has been helping defensively Darren Duncan. As now Windsor sets up the possession, 5:50 to go here in the first quarter. Ward waiting for the offense to develop. Ellenson looking to get open, and it's going to be a travel call caught on Ward. London will get the possession back.
He spent too much time trying to penetrate right inside to the board. He forgot his footing, and we have a media timeout.
Indeed, as there's a timeout called from Bill Jones. We'll be right back in just a moment here on Knockstrom.tv. The Windsor Express lead 10-8.
Tonight's lucky winners are...
Kinetic Connection is the official racing partner of the Windsor Express. Represented by Kinetic Connection,
Welcome back to the WFCU Center as the Windsor Express lead by 2 here at the midway point of the first quarter. So, Aaron, what are your thoughts on how this game has played out so far? London shooting 22% from the field, by the way.
And this is the type of attitude I love to see from both of these clubs, especially when they go out. The last 2 games they played, they really came out guns a-blazing, and this game is no exception. The Windsor Express taking their times off shots. Juan Pitello, I believe, is leading the charge into the offense. Wally Allenson, he's going to get his time soon, but on the other hand, if you're the London Lightning, you really got to consider taking it to the hole, get higher quality shots. Royce White has been doing that, but nothing to it, considering Kyle Johnson is leading the way with 5 points.
Indeed, Windsor, meanwhile, Warren Ward's leading their way with 5 points, but you mentioned going into the paint. London has no points in paint so far, as Maurice Jones is now in for Windsor. Bolton will set things up. Whistle off the ball, and that's going to go to Windsor. And it's going to be an offensive foul down low to Junior Cadogan.
Now, this is a gamble bringing Maurice Jones in. Now he's part of the second string, but it amazes me how this young man has come from since the beginning of the season. This is a guy that could have a consistent game, whether his shots go down or whether he could get a good look for the ball.
And Warren Ward, meanwhile, loses the handle. Foul called. That is going to be on Joel Friesen, who is now in the game as well for London.
Joel Friesen, he played his first game back on Wednesday after a wrist injury. Safe to say, the game they had on Wednesday, they won a mulligan on it, but you know what? The thing is in the past. They got to worry about this game right now, because if Windsor wins this, JP, they for sure claim second place in the Central.
This is a big moment, that's for sure, across the league, actually, for playoff implications. As Stutz drives in, misses off the front rim, gets his own miss, and it's tipped, and here comes Cadogan, giving it to Doug Herring Jr. Herring Jr. will post up Ward. Going into the paint, triple teamed, and he gets the hook shot.
And most people don't realize how beneficial Doug Herring Jr. is. He played for the Mill Rats for the last few years, but now coming into London, he found himself as a general from the second string. Ward.
And Ward misses. Rebounded inside. And here comes the Lightning. Friesen out to Cadogan for 3. Misses off the rim. Here comes Stutz with the board and the fast break. He'll slow it down and give it to Ward. And it looks like Tony Bennett might be coming in soon as Wally Allenson misses for 3. And it's tied up at 10 here with 19 to go here in the first. Another missed shot. Allenson trying to get the board, but Cadogan gets it. And Cadogan will get the London Lightning the lead again.
And he took advantage of the numbers that the Windsor Express did not have into their favor.
And now Jones putting it up for 3. Misses. Ward couldn't get the rebound. Bolton gets it instead. And here comes Herring Jr. Herring Jr., one of the main positives in London's last game against the Titans. And he loses the handle, passes it out to Friesen while falling. He misses off the back rim. Jones saves it, finds Pitello, and here comes the Express.
A veteran move right there from Jones.
Jones, very impressive this year. And someone else impressive, Warren Ward, as he's got 8.
Despite that 3, both clubs need to slow down, especially with the tempo. They're trying to pass it to get the higher quality shots, but unfortunately nobody's ready to receive the pass. So they got to slow the tempo down, let the play breathe.
The tempo is getting a little bit sloppy here in terms of turnover. Over says there's another turnover.
Oh, hello.
Pitello, good pass. Allenson loses the handle. Pitello gets it back, and it's going to just bounce it loose.
My question is how Pitello was able to pull off that behind the back doozy.
A great pass there, that's for sure. As Cadogan driving in off the front rim. He gets the board. And that's going to be a foul charged as Allenson almost got the block, but Cadogan will go to the line to shoot 2.
He was there at the right and wrong time. If that sounds strange, JP, but you know what? He was there to go for the block. He had to take the dive for the team. Oh, well, they're going to give it to Stutz, but you know what? Good anticipation and good timing by Allison. For Stutz, that's only I would believe, his first foul.
Indeed, that is his first foul as he will go to the bench. DeAndre Thomas in the game. Now for the Express, also in is Tony Bennett.
And it's quite interesting how the Windsor Express are taking up on the transition game. That's usually London's game. But right now, London has been struggling from in the paint, like you mentioned, JP, and it's not looking good.
Only 2 points in paint from them so far. As Ward passes, and that's going to be a turnover. And here comes another substitution. Anderson is back in the game. Out comes Cadogan.
Now, Ryan Anderson, if you're the Windsor Express, the key way to stop him is you just got to have a body on him. If he gets the inbounds pass or any type of pass, especially in the corner, you can't stop him because he has that quick release. So you got to find a body, put that body on him, and make sure he gets pressure.
And you better put pressure on this guy right here as Herring Jr. gets it. Passes it out. Phillips for three. Misses. Offensive rebound picked up by Anderson. And we're just talking about Anderson, and he gets his offensive rebound there.
Now he's going to run the offense.
And he finds Friesen. He puts it up for the jump shot. Misses. Rebounded by Patillo.
It's anything but sunshine and rainbows for the London Lightning shots this afternoon.
I have to agree with you. That's going to put them just under 30% shooting now in this first quarter. As Thomas passes out to Bennett for three. And he makes it with a man in his face. And Tony Bennett, first shot, first make. That's 3 points right there for him.
It's a crying shame for Friesen that he got that shot in his face, but you know what? He's one of the most shifty defenders in the league, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind dropping down to three as we see Royce White get inside and kiss it off the glass.
And Royce White with just the second field goal from inside the paint for the Lightning there to bring it to a 2-point game again as Jones just misses a layup inside and wide open lane could not make it. Herring Jr. stops and it's stolen. Jones with the deflection. Patillo gets it.
Hello.
Jones to Patillo and he slams it home.
You see, that's the beauty about Maurice Jones. He could develop a 1-2 punch with pretty much anybody. There's no two stars of the game right here. He is able to manage and function with everybody.
There's also a reason he's now the team's leading scorer with 18 points per game coming in with this Express squad in February. As Phillips finds Friesen for three. Can he respond? He's got the response. And that brings it to a 1-point game.
He finally did, but it's going to take more than that for the Lightning to pick up the tempo and control this game.
And indeed, I have to agree with you there as Jones rejected inside, and they're going to call it off Jones as London gets the possession.
Herring did a really great job. He knew it was a mismatch right off the bat. He took advantage of it. It made sure he had great body control, thus the reason why they labeled the ball off of Maurice Jones. We see Jannard Giroux come in, JP, and we have preached to the choir over and over and over again how progressive his game has been since joining the Windsor Express. One of the key factors, and I believe the key sixth man for this Express squad.
When you need him to step up, he has stepped up, averaging 6.8 points per game on the season. As White, putting it up and contested, gets the offensive board. Anderson puts it up for three on the second chance, misses. And they scramble, and that's going to be a whistle. Jones not happy with that. As Thomas and Herring Jr. tangled up trying to get the rebound. London will keep the possession, it looks like, with the fresh 24.
Now watch the inbounder because he could possibly curl off to the defensive weak side and pop up for a three. Or pretty much any shot.
We'll have to see. Shaquille Keefe also in, by the way, for the Express. Also in for the Lightning, Anthony Criswell. As Anderson, up at the center logo, gets the pick from White. He'll stop, passes, finds Criswell on the deflection. He misses. Anderson with another offensive board.
Too much time.
And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. That quarter seemed to just fly on by as the Windsor Express are up 18-17 after 1 quarter of play. Both teams shooting around 30% each, 30.4% for London, 33.3% for Windsor. If you're both of these coaches, Kyle Julius and Bill Jones, what do you do to fix this offense here? And especially the turnovers, 3 apiece.
First off, if you're Kyle Julius, you got to tell your team you need to have better looks to the basket, but make sure you are confident going in. If you have mismatches, you really got to take advantage of it. Ryan Anderson on that last play, he took too much time dribbling and tried to break away when he knew Royce White was open right there. So you really got to be smart when you're on the ball and look for those crisp passes. If somebody breaks away, you compliment them, you reward them. If you're Windsor, on the other hand, you got to slow things down, because there was once upon a time they were shooting over 40% from the field, and that was because of great shot choices and their ability to penetrate on the defense, and especially on the defensive weak side. So slow the tempo down if you're Windsor. You got to shoot smarter if you're London.
I have to agree with you there, because looking at some of these stats here, 3 of 13 from 3, missed both of their free throws London has. They have the rebound advantage, 18 to 11. But when you also look at this, only 4 points have come from inside the paint and 2 second chance points. And one of the things Windsor has accomplished so far has been isolating Royce White and making him struggle. Just 2 points and 2 rebounds and 1 of 4 shooting. So they are accomplishing a lot of what they are probably hoping to do coming into today's game. That's for sure.
Indeed.
As we'll have to see how things counter out here, as Jones will counter to start off the second quarter with Maurice Jones on with Jannard Giroux, Shaquille Keith, DeAndre Thomas, and Tony Bennett. While the Lightning will counter with Anthony Criswell, Royce White, Doug Herring Jr., Ryan Anderson, and it appears Joel Friesen. So a lot of chess match moving going on right now. Both of these teams have pretty deep benches right now, especially with Windsor adding Stutz. So right now, both of these teams looking to see how both of their benches play out here in the second quarter.
And anybody from the backcourt is able to make decisive plays and be able to take it in by themselves will be the victor.
We'll have to see how things turn out as White deflecting on the pass. He'll stop, 13 on the shot clock. Drives in and he puts it in for 2.
Irregardless, you got to give kudos to DeAndre Thomas for stepping up, especially at the top of the key, going one-on-one against Royce White. That's one of the things that he has added to his arsenal since returning from an injury.
I have to agree, that was a good heads-up defense there. As Bennett gets the pass, another contested 3, and he makes it again. 2 shots made from outside, both in contested land, and he gets both of them so far today.
Sweet string music from Tony Bennett. That's been his case since the beginning.
And Doug Herring Jr. gets White open by a mile, finding Criswell inside, and that's going to be 2 free throws for London.
And you know, that starts some sort of a vibe for the London Lightning. That's the type of attitude they need to take into them for the remainder of this half. Being able to get good looks, try to go inside regardless of the contact, and finish strong.
And Criswell will set up for the 2 free throws, meanwhile, because of that decision to try and go strong inside with that layup attempt. And Criswell will make the first of 2. Of course, sorry, you were saying?
No, I was fixing to say Criswell is one of those guys you really got to look out for, because when he gets an open look for the 3, he's going to take it because he has so much confidence into him. That's what he's been working on all season, the ability to fire at will and make pretty good shots from beyond the arc.
Coming into today's game, he is shooting 39.7% from the arc as DeAndre Thomas makes it inside. And Thomas has his first points.
And that's the beauty of having a depth in your front court.
A lot of depth, that's for sure, as Friesen gets the pump fake, and he's got the 2 inside.
That is a smart move, getting their defender off their feet, Shaq Keith.
And Shaq Keith will go to the line to shoot 2 as Windsor responds with the fast pace down the floor.
But back then, going back to Friesen's shot, once again, smart move, getting your defender off the ground. That's what you got to do. That's basic textbook reversal look. A lot of people try to finish strong, try to dunk at home. 50% of the time, it's not going to work. It's going to be a give or take. But once you throw off your defender, you can do pretty much anything you want. Take it in, kiss it off the glass, do what you will. But a higher percentage shot is a higher quality shot, JP, and those are one of the shots they really need to get going.
When you have your offensive shots going and you're taking good decisions, it helps you a lot as Royce White now gets the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And this is where Royce White capitalizes in this crucial moment of the game. It's a close game so far, 1-point game, but now Royce is becoming more comfortable going inside the paint against this Windsor Express team. He's pretty much got everything, as I assume plenty of colleagues have mentioned throughout this season, but he's one of the most unselfish players in the league. Despite his size, despite his skills, one of the most unselfish players. And when it all comes together, he goes on fire.
Indeed, on top of having 19 points per game, he has also been rebounding 9.6 rebounds per game and passing the ball with 5.8 rebounds per game on what could be an MVP season from him. As Thomas jump shot from mid-range misses. Anderson gets the board, and he's off to the races. Here comes Criswell. Nice pass to White, and White can't get the shot to go.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
And Giroux got the rebound. Keith almost lost the handle as he'll slow down the offense. Going to Giroux in the post. Size mismatch, but White gets the block.
Boy, was he lucky.
He was very lucky as Johnson can't get the layup. Herring Jr. gets it back, and London will reset. 10 on the shot clock. Herring Jr. pulls back, and it just rolls in for the three-pointer. London has a 4-point lead.
They found the way to break the zone defense. It was just passing the ball around, making sure they are open, and they took advantage of that, especially Doug Herring on that three.
Thomas going into the post, double-teamed, and he'll get it in the low post. And DeAndre Thomas is starting to get things going here in the second quarter. Herring Jr. sizing up Jones. Finds Anderson. He'll drive inside, and he makes the layup. Anderson with a nice basket inside. That's his first basket of the game, actually.
A little ice cream scoop right inside the bucket. Giroux with the slam.
And Giroux answers back with, that was a real nice smooth play. Let's answer back with a smooth play of my own. As he makes it a 2-point game. Whistle called. As that's going to be off the ball. Substitution as well, as Stutz will come back in. DeAndre Thomas with 2 fouls now, and the team's third here in the second.
You know, it's those types of plays that will get the Windsor Express going. When Giroux is open, better get out the way because he has an authoritative presence right into him. When you give him a good pass, he's just going to take it in. He's not going to back out from it.
And White challenging Giroux. Meanwhile, Giroux gets the block, I should say, as White passes inside. And that's going to be put inside by Marcus Capers, who came in on that last timeout. And Jones runs right into White. And that's going to be an inbound on the side. I believe that is going to be called on White. No, it's called on Marcus Capers. As that's a little bit of a confusing play there. Jones had a lot of momentum, then just ran right into Royce White.
I don't even know why he did that. He had 2 people right in front of him. There's no way you're going to penetrate on them when they're right at the top of the key.
And Jones sizing up his man in Capers. Puts up the contested jump shot from mid-range. Misses. And it's rebounded by Capers. Capers will slow it down. Finds White. Behind the back pass to Anderson. He can't get it. Keith will start the fast break. And he'll slow it down with 7:50 to go here in this first half. Shaquille Keith driving in, and he's got the layup. And Keith with 3 points now in this first half. Doug Herring will stop. Wait for the play to develop. Calls for the screen. Passes it across to Anderson. Back to Herring. White posting up Stutz. Down to 6. Ball deflected. White puts it up. Misses. Rebounded by Stutz.
This isn't the type of game Royce White had expected. They're going all over on him.
They're challenging him big time as Keith making them need to challenge as Windsor's got the lead back. 33-32 on that triple.
Unbelievable.
And Shaquille Keith with his first triple of the game right there. Johnson gets it. Back to Herring Jr. Capers puts up the three-pointer, and he responds with the triple.
Right on time, too.
Both teams going back and forth now with triples, as that's going to be a whistle off the ball. It looks like it's going to be on Ryan Anderson. As that looked like to be... It is on Anderson. It was on an off-ball screen, it seems, as Tony Bennett was knocked over on the play. Maurice Jones coming out of the game. Back in, Darren Duncan.
And you see the... I'm sorry, JP. You've seen the defensive hustle on the London Lightning. That's transforming onto the offensive play, so now they're playing that type of all-around ball most people are accustomed to.
And Giroux going inside, and he's got the layup for two.
He keeps on scoring. To him, this is all mismatched to him. What an arsenal this fella has.
And we're now going back and forth here, tied up at 35, midway through the second quarter. As Anderson almost went out of bounds, finding Johnson. Johnson loses the handle. Darren Duncan gets the steal. Tony Bennett finds Stunson. He slams it home with a one-hander.
Well, this game is getting out of control, and this is one thing the Windsor Express kind of hoped they would have going during this game, and they are taking it right to the London Lightning's defense.
And speaking of defense, Giroux gets the block as Duncan will bring it down, and that's going to be a whistle caught on Johnson as he stops the fast break on the reach-in.
Now let's be honest with ourselves right now. London is trying to find answers on the offensive end, but they're trying to speed up the tempo, which is something that you shouldn't do. If you're trying to pull off fast passes, 9 times out of 10 is going to end up being a turnover. So luckily this timeout is being played right now so they could go back, get to their game plan. No matter what it is, even they're down by 2, they got to think of something and slow things down.
I agree with you because London, of course, is known for setting the tempo themselves. It has been the opposite. Windsor has been setting the tempo today and playing how they wanted to play with today's game.
And once again, the main thing for the Express was to shut down Royce White. This is his first game back after being out on Wednesday. So, of course, there's going to be some players that are going to be discombobulated, but I'm quite surprised at how Royce White is playing right now, and it's all because of Giroux shutting him down and being able to capitalize on those turnovers.
And we'll be right back in just a moment here on Knockstrom.tv. The Windsor Express are up 37-35. And welcome back, everyone, to the WFCU Center as the Windsor Express are up by 2 in what has been a very close second quarter and a very close game overall. Overall, if you look at the statistics with the box scores so far, it has just been a 2-point difference. Windsor has had the advantage so far in both by 1 point. And we're just mentioning this. Windsor has been setting the tempo today. London has been struggling offensively, shooting 37% right now and being outscored in the paint 18-12. And we're almost set to go here. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders as we're set for the final part of this first half. 6 minutes to go here in the second quarter. On the floor for the Express, Shaquille Keefe, Logan Stutz, Darren Duncan, Jannard Giroux, and Tony Bennett. For the Lightning, it is Joel Friesen, Kyle Johnson, as well as Marcus Capers, Junior Cadogan, and as well, Marvin Phillips.
Now Marvin Phillips, this is a good option for the Lightning to depend on him. He could be a consistent player once he gets a shot going, but he creates so much muscle power, and one of the most key aspects, off the ball on defense, so he's ready to go on the transition game on the offense. We have yet to see that this afternoon, but don't underestimate who is the leading rebounder in London Lightning history.
Indeed, he broke the 1,000 rebound plateau in his last game as Duncan trying to get the layup inside, passes it out to Keith for 3. He's got it.
He's having a doozy of a ball game, and I'm sure Kyle Julius does not like that look coming out the timeout.
And speaking of timeouts, this one's going to be a little bit of a technical issue for a second. The scoreboard reset to 26 seconds. That will be fixed in just a second here. But right now, it has just been a great game to watch, very close scoring-wise. But right now, we'll have to see how these two teams adjust at this point.
One of the key players to look out for that I expect to come out like lightning in the bottle would be Marvin Phillips and Doug Herring Jr. because they haven't rushed at all during this season. They have had their time in the sun. Doug Herring, he had a couple of games under his belt where he was the player of the game, and Marvin Phillips contributed very nicely ever since coming back this year. So I believe that if they had set a good 1-2 punch, those two players are going to mend very well and bring this Lightning back to victory, as they are the second string, which is one of the most powerful we have seen in quite some time.
a very powerful second string. Doug Herring Jr. so far 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Phillips having 2 rebounds, 1 assist. No points for him so far tonight as Cadogan sets things up. Finds Friesen. Capers finding Cadogan on the roundabout. Pick set by Capers. Friesen for 3. And he's got the triple.
That was a good look for Friesen.
And that was in Tony Bennett's face as well. Answering back from when Bennett hit one himself like that.
He's doing a much better job than he did on Wednesday, I'll tell you that.
I agree, as ball poked loose and Cadogan is off to the races. He'll stop, find Friesen. Trying to find Capers.
Oh.
Goes for the layup, and that's going to be a traveling call. And that's going to be express ball there on the travel.
Despite that, that's the type of effort London needs to play for the rest of the game. Being able to penetrate and not be intimidated by the force that this front court has been putting out so far. So if Friesen could do that, then everybody can. I expect much more power and speed coming from Junior Cadogan, the mighty, mighty guard.
We'll have to see Junior Cadogan 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists so far in this one. 4:53 to go here in this second quarter. Duncan sizing up Cadogan. Loses the handle, and that's going to stay Windsor ball.
And they're pressuring Duncan too, which is a good idea. They triple teamed him, as a matter of fact, JP. I mean, that's a good option for them, but you really got to look out for the offensive weak side.
And Phillips gets a deflection, saves it, but it goes right back to Windsor. Stutz just rolls out on the 3, and Phillips will get the rebound, hits third. And he'll stop, and London will reset. Capers coming around, going down low in the post to Phillips. Going inside, misses, rebounded again by Stutz. Stutz with 4 rebounds so far tonight. He's finding Stutz inside, but he misses the basket.
That's 2 baskets in a row he missed, which could have been easy deuces.
He was calling for the foul there, and Friesen open front by a country mile, can't make it. And it took 2 attempts, but he gets the putback.
And Windsor was icing down low, which is not the way you want to do it, JP.
And that is not how you want to do it either. A push-off there from Darren Duncan on Joel Friesen, and that's going to be a foul.
Would you assume that would be based off of aggression? Because, let's face it, the Express were waiting there for the rebound, but unfortunately did not respond. They didn't expect Joel Friesen to follow through on his shot, which he did. They thought they had the DB all set up, but unfortunately for them, they got to realize that their weak side could be a problem for them. So they got to be very responsive on every shot.
And now what's going on down there is there's another whistle, and we're going to switch inbounders again. That one's going to be on Kyle Johnson.
Now, like I said, they need to slow it down. The attitude's just getting the best of them. It's a close game so far. Don't make it a very far game with such ticky-tack fouls like that. You got to stay poised.
It is the 4-1 rivalry for a reason as Darren Duncan hits it for the 3. And Darren Duncan, that's his first basket.
Here we go again.
And this is not good here. As an error whistle, Cadogan will go to the line to shoot 2. And substitution as Warren Ward and Wally Ellenson will come on.
And a perfect timing for these substitutions because this game so far, the last 3 possessions have gone out of hand. A lot of shoving, a lot of pushing. These guys really need to keep their cool, maintain a level-headed mentality, and realize that this may be an important game, but it's not worth throwing it away when you're doing such antics like that.
And Cadogan, once again, to the line to shoot 2, missed his first 2 free throws from the line. On the season, he is shooting, coming into tonight, 81.6%. As Cadogan, this time, will go 2 for 2 and make it a 1-point game. And Stutz will get the inbound as they are putting on the trap on Duncan.
The full court pressure, and so far Windsor's doing a great job breaking it.
And they find Stutz. He rushes to the basket, finds Ward outside. And Stutz will set the pick. Stutz fighting down low. And Duncan will reset down to 6 on the shot clock. Sizing up. Looking for an opening. Down to 2. Passes it to Stutz. And that's going to be a shot clock violation.
That won't go. That shot will not count.
And that shot went up about 2 or 3 seconds after the buzzer went off for the violation. as that'll be London possession. And Junior Cadogan will bring it down the floor to set things up. Finding Capers is Friesen. Around comes Cadogan, pick set by Phillips. And Cadogan with the jump shot cannot get it. This time it's rebounded by Ellenson. And Ellenson will slow things down and find Duncan. Duncan pulls back for the jump shot and he can't get it. Rebounded by Jones. Not by Jones, pardon me, Johnson. As Johnson stops, finds Cadogan, and they'll go into the post. Johnson, once again, finding Capers, and Friesen in the corner for three, misses. And Ward with the board this time, his fourth.
You see, Friesen is feeling himself right now. He's getting good quality chances for shots, but even though they're not going down, he's getting good looks. So keep the ball moving to his favor.
And right now he's the leading scorer in this one with 10 points, as that is going to be a whistle.
Bill
Ellenson is not happy. Jones is not happy.
He took off his jacket. You know what that means, JP. It's showtime.
It's important to keep the emotions in check, though, in this kind of game, a major rivalry game here. They got to keep their emotions in check.
And it's so early, too, so you got to face the facts.
We're at the 2:10 mark to go here in the second quarter as Capers drives by Stutz, and he's got the layup with the mismatch. And London's back in the lead, 44-43. Duncan will set up the play once again. Patillo sets the pick. They'll slow things down this possession. Down to 7 on the shot clock as Ellenson can't get the layup. Rebounded by Stutz, he's going to the line to shoot two. And Logan Stutz going to the line for the second time tonight. 1 of 2 from the line so far. 5 points and 4 rebounds in his home debut with the Windsor Express.
And in that last play, that is a pure example of how much damage a trailer could put on the defensive side. Logan Stutz, he was at the right time picking up that rebound, and once again trying to break through the double team, trying to finish off strong. And he goes off to the line again for a similar play he did in the previous quarter. So once again, he's showing why he's a great acquisition for the Windsor Express at the present time.
And the next foul, by the way, will put both of these teams, by the way, 6 fouls each in the bonus, as Stutz makes the first of 2, and he'll make both. Of course, there is a lot of games going on across the league today. This is one of 5 today. All 10 teams playing. A lot going on a very exciting Sunday afternoon.
And we'll get to that on the Nordstrom halftime.
Indeed, as Phillips loses the handle. Ball bobbled as Friesen slams it home.
Once again, Friesen is being a key asset for this offensive charge so far for the Lightning. One of the reasons why they are still keeping it close, and thus they got the lead.
Now up to 12 points. Once again, a game high so far. Maurice Jones, whistle called off the ball, and that is going to be 2 free throws for Maurice Jones. It seems, no, they're sending Logan Stutz to the line.
I am impressed of how Joel Friesen has been taking up the responsibility of leading the plays for the London Lightning. On the defensive end, he's making sure he's keeping his eye on the ball and stating up the mismatches. On the offensive end, he's getting good looks. He's following through on everybody's shots. He knows how to pickpocket on the weak side and take it right on home. So you got to give him credit for that, for keeping the London Lightning into it.
Of course, he missed their last game for London due to injury. Actually, pardon me, he played on the 19th, pardon me. I'm confusing players there for a second. He had 9 points, 3 of 10 shooting in that last game against Kitchener-Waterloo. As Stutz makes the first of 2, tying up at 46. As they're making quick adjustments with the shot clock. With that going on, let's check around what's going on with across the league on this crazy Sunday. Right now, Niagara and Orangeville are playing right now. Niagara up 67-54 in a very important matchup. Niagara loses, they're out of the playoffs. They need to win out the season to have a shot with the playoffs. Then you have Halifax. Halifax up over Moncton by 11, 91-80. Kitchener-Waterloo in the Island Storm 54-41, and Cape Breton and St. John 54-42. Cape Breton.
And Cape Breton's trying to find many ways to bounce back after what is considered a gruesome loss from Wednesday, and time is running out on them and the Miracles. Half a game behind for the last playoff spot. So the Atlantic Division, as far as that goes, is going to be very crucial. But we could pretty much say the same thing about the last playoff spot in the Central Division.
Both playoff spots could come down to the wire, as we've seen crazier things happen in the National Basketball League of Canada. As Herring Jr. drives inside, misses, rebounded by Thomas, but he's stripped. Jones saves it.
Wow.
Keeps the possession. Here comes Ellenson. Hop steps, misses the layup. Patillo tries to deflect it. Friesen gets the board. Down to 34 seconds to go here in this first half. Friesen will slow down the tempo, try and get a second possession. He puts it up for three. He has the shot bounce all over the cylinder, and it goes in.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Where were those type of shots Wednesday night, JP?
I agree with you. That was not the best game offensively. Let's just put it at that right now.
Amen.
As Jones sets things up, 6 seconds to go in the first half. Jones going up for the layup. Rebound inside, and DeAndre Thomas puts it up, and we will go into halftime. Tied up at 49. The Express and the Lightning both have 49 after 2 quarters of play. We'll be right back with the Nackstrom halftime in just a few moments.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Multicultural Council of Windsor and Essex is pleased to present your Windsor Express halftime show. Edmonds Towers School of Dance is celebrating over 30 years of dance in the Windsor area. The family-owned and operated dance school on Jefferson Avenue. They offer classes in tap, ballet, pointe, jazz, lyrical, and hip-hop. Please visit the website edmondstowers.com. Early registration for our fall classes. It's not too early. We're excited to showcase our competitive team today. Please wish them luck as they continue their season with the finals in Las Vegas this July. The Edmonds Towers School of Dance.
$49 apiece. Exactly like we mentioned at the beginning of the game, how close it would be, and it's gridlocked. We have a tie game right here. JP, we mentioned over and over again how slow London Lightning were to start off. They're trying to capitalize, but Royce White has been shut down for the most part. But I've seen Joel Friesen taking matters into his own hands.
Yeah, you mentioned Royce White. He has been absolutely struggling for most of the game so far. Having overall Royce White 6 points on 2 of 8 shooting. Abysmal offensively, but Friesen has filled the gap. leading in all scores with 15 points so far tonight, including a few triples already, stepping up on the defensive end as well. Right now, he is really stepping up for a big need for London in this one.
Windsor Express getting a couple of good looks. Two players in particular, Jannar Giroux and Logan Stutz, who's having a doozy of a home opener for him.
Yeah, you mentioned Logan Stutz, 9 points in his home opener, along with 5 rebounds so far. And Giroux also doing well, 4 points and 2 rebounds, but also doing well defensively, forcing a few turnovers, forcing some contested shots. Right now, both of them have been stepping up big time as well with Windsor. And this could be, if they continue to play the way they are, Windsor could win this one in a very close one.
What has to change if you're Kyle Julius in the London Lightning?
Well, if one thing that has to change, you have to make smarter shots, because points in the paint, they didn't really pick up on that until late in the second quarter. They did not even get into double digits really until near the end of the first quarter. They have just 18 points. They need to start doing more challenges, get more fouls, attract more fouls, and then capitalize on the fouls, because they also have missed 2 free throws. If it wasn't for those 2 missed free throws, London would be in the lead right now. So right now, a lot of factors coming in. The plus side that's factoring their way, though, is the offensive rebounds. They have a +9 advantage on the boards, 31-22. They keep that up and complement that with attacking the inside, scoring, and getting some offensive boards and second chance points. They're going to be in a good situation.
And the front court is really putting it out on all numbers for the Windsor Express. What has to continue for them if they want to get out of here with a victory?
Well, right now, what's been working is that they have that depth helping them out with that front court as well as that back court. Especially the front court, as we've been seeing so far tonight with DeAndre Thomas, with Logan Stutz and whatnot. In my opinion, you have to keep them going, keep them fresh, and keep them composed, because if they start getting double teamed and triple teamed like Darren Duncan had been for much of that first half, then they're going to be in trouble, I think, because much of their offense is coming from their big men and their front court right now. You double team them or triple team them, London does, that's going to take away a huge chunk of your offense in the second half.
So the Windsor Express and the London Lightning are getting busy right here. Gridlock of 49, but they're not the only teams gridlocked right now. Everybody is playing. Nobody's getting a TO. Nobody's getting a day off. 4 other games on the schedule. Of course, playoff implications as we stress on every telecast. Let's take a look at some of them. First off, the Orangeville and Niagara game, because we all know the last playoff spot is key for both of these squads.
That one's the most interesting one today, because Niagara needs to win out to make the playoffs. And they are taking on Orangeville, who they could knock out of that 4th spot today. So if Niagara wins, they keep their playoff hopes alive. If Orangeville wins, Orangeville steals their playoff spot, and Niagara does not make the playoffs. Right now, that matchup is very close. Well, Niagara's playing very well, I should say. 67-54 right now. They have to keep that up, though, if they want to make the playoffs. Not just today, but for the rest of the week. We have 7 days to go in the month of April. And before the playoffs, they have to step it up.
The Island Storm on their Western home trip. They are at the auditorium to play against the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans.
And right now, the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans are up 56-43 right now in that matchup. And if you look at some of the statistics with that one, right now the Island Storm, of course, going on the Western swing. This is a big time for them as well. They've already basically clinched a playoff spot, but right now they're looking to clinch the playoff seed, which is another important key factor. It's going to be interesting to see how that turns out in the end. That's for sure with today.
And we got 2 other games, too, Moncton and Halifax. Of course, Moncton is now a half a game behind for the last playoff spot. The Halifax Hurricanes, we have seen them struggle. We've seen them through their ups and downs in the last few weeks. So how do you think this is all going to fare out for both of these squads?
Right now, I feel like it's going to fare out to be like Halifax, of course, will still be the 1 seed in the end. But right now, it could be very interesting in the divisional finals, because St. John is getting a lot of momentum down the stretch, big time, because right now a lot of people are projecting St. John in the finals more than Halifax right now because of how Halifax is playing. Yes, they're winning games, but St. John's been playing with more momentum, and Halifax doesn't seem to be as strong of a team as their championship team last season to some. So we'll have to see, but right now, I feel like they got to get some momentum going and some motivation some extra motivation, I should say, once the playoffs get underway.
And what better way to get that motivation from a fierce front court with Chris Combs, Akeem Johnson, and of course in the back court too, you got Anthony Anderson. And finally, we move on to one more game, a bit of business. Cape Breton's playing, so a half a game behind from there.
Yes, you mentioned Cape Breton right now. They are currently up in their game. But right now, Cape Breton moved into that 4th spot, as you mentioned during the pregame show, over Moncton. So right now, the important thing is for both of them, keep on winning. As the league described, Moncton makes it on a combination of 5 wins or losses from either team, essentially. Whoever has the most wins at the end, logically and obviously, makes the playoffs. But there's a lot of implications that can still happen after today. Because, of course, Moncton lost one of their games, a big one against Niagara in that triple overtime matchup. That makes it very tight for that 4th seed.
And this is why, and this is how fierce the action is in the NBL Canada. This isn't the only season where we've seen the playoffs go right down to the wire. So you're getting a benefit here this afternoon, folks. We got 5 games on the schedule. We got this one. We're going to pause right now. We're going to bring Commissioner Magley in, and then we'll see you on the other side. All right, we see the camera still on us right now. We're going to bring in the Commissioner of NBL Canada, Mr. David Magley.
Good afternoon.
How are you today, sir?
I'm fantastic.
That's good. So, of course, we're down to the final stretch of the season, the final week of the season before the playoffs. What are your thoughts right now on how things are coming along down the stretch for your league?
Well, I think it's really exciting. I think it's exciting to see. It's exciting to see the Niagara-Orangeville end of the season stretch. It's exciting to watch Moncton and Cape Breton fighting for that last playoff position, and everybody's gotten better. So I'm expecting the first round to see some upsets. I don't think it's going to go necessarily the way the teams get seeded. That's going to make for fun.
And it puts a lot of pressure, too, especially to these Final 4 teams are battling for a playoff spots. One playoff spot remaining in the Atlantic Division. As for the other, is in the Central Division. And, of course, the playoff format has changed. So it goes to show how crucial the element is when it comes to the postseason, because these games aren't gimmies to any of these players.
No, and even when you look at this game, this is a potential second-round matchup. They want to send a message. They're not sitting there, players. They're competing hard. I mean, we've got a tied ball game at halftime, and they're bringing it, which is fantastic.
So, of course, right now, I'm trying to think how exactly to phrase this basically, but, of course, there's been a few adjustments with higher designations lately, and I don't know if you want to address this now, but what is your comments on some of the adjustments going on down the stretch of the season from some of the teams? I know this is not the best place to ask, but at the same time, it's something that has been gaining a lot of traction in recent weeks.
Well, I mean, I think that you're asking questions about stuff that has individual responses for each individual player and individual circumstances and situations. I know that there's certain people that like to talk a lot about it, but at the end of the day, we've got our largest crowd of the year here in Windsor that are building. We've got record crowds in every venue across the team. We've got new teams probably coming in next year. And there's just a lot of positive to talk about. That other stuff is more controversy than it's probably worth because, quite frankly, it's not having a major impact on anybody.
Okay, I understand that, and I apologize for asking that, but it's also, like I said, what a lot of people have been discussing. But basically, as the playoffs approach, you mentioned there's a lot of positives. It's on top of the fan attendance here, a big crowd attendance here, in fact, here at the WFCU Center. What are some of the positives, in your opinion, that have come from this season here as your second commissioner, here as the commissioner of the NBLC?
Well, I think both new teams, Kitchener-Waterloo and Cape Breton, have had great years with their crowds and their fan base. I think that each team's building for the end of the year. I think that there's some good news looming with expansion and ownership and things like that. I think that you going to Lakeshore for your playoffs is exciting because we'll see what that market looks like. We'll see what the venue looks like. I think we'll get sellout crowds in that venue, and it will create a really great atmosphere for us. So I'm excited by all of that. You know, a special tribute today to your disc jockey, DJ Thor. He's a man that loves his team. He has been fighting through cancer, and through the cancer, he's still coming and he's being a DJ through it all. He's kept a positive spirit, and his prognosis isn't good. So I don't know what people believe out there, but I do know when two or more are gathered, he is there. And if you believe for him to be in peace and be comforted, and whatever you can pray for him, I beg you to, because that's more important to me than basketball could ever be, because that man's life is on the line, and he's still out here cheering for his Windsor Express.
Well, Commissioner number one, I have to agree with you on that. I mean, this is one of the first guys I met since being around with the Windsor Express since their second year. So he's one of the most dedicated, like you said. So it goes to show how big of a fan base it is when it comes together and works as family. And second off, you better believe this is a Windsor Express team that is willing to make sure everybody jams packed that Lakeshore Arena to the rafters. We thank you for your time,
Thanks,
Mr. Magley.
appreciate you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. We got to go upstairs, folks. We got the second half call for you, and we'll see you back right up there right after these few minutes. Right now at halftime, Gridlock at 49, London Lightning, Windsor Express, 401 Tilt, right here on Knoxdrum.tv. We'll be back after this timeout.
Welcome back, everyone, to the WFCU Center, as the Windsor Express are all tied up at 49 to the London Lightning here on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. A lot of fans in attendance for this one, that's for sure. A lot going on as well in this facility. Lots of groups coming in for today's game, as well as a Spitfires mini camp over at the Community Center, their rinks. So a lot going on today, including a lot of fun action here on this floor, and intense action. As we're all set to go, Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders, as we're all set to go for the second half here on Knockstrom.tv.
Man, I'm still picking up my breath from being from down there to up here, but I'm sure everybody is still breathless after what I believe is one of the most toughest first halves we have seen from both of these squads when they're on the court. I mean, Windsor Express really picking up on how the Lightning play their game, and we mentioned already shutting down their bigs, which has been a key asset. So they're doing good on that. The London Lightning, now they got to capitalize on plenty of mismatches right now, because Windsor's backcourt may be small, but they can pick up on speed.
And we'll have to see how those matchups play out, as Darren Duncan will take the first shot of the half and misses. Rebounded by Royce White, pardon me. As Anderson's on the floor, as White drives in, whistle before the shot.
And this is exactly how you pick up the pace if you're London. Kyle Julius, I bet you Kyle Julius said in the locker room, I'm like, look, no gimmies. I mean, you gotta run the floor. When you get the rebound, run and look up. That's one of the key things they tell you and they teach you when you're at a young age or just an experience in basketball. Look up and run the floor, and eventually you'll run somebody out of the building.
And meanwhile, Warren Ward gets the steal as Duncan goes on the run. Patillo with the alley-oop slam.
That's his trademark high-low pass right there. Jammed it down with the right hand. Whoa, baby. You could put that in the top tenner.
A beautiful slam dunk there from Juan Patillo. On the floor for the Lightning, Junior Cadogan, White, Kyle Johnson, Marcus Capers, and Ryan Anderson. As Cadogan gets the pick from White, posting up Duncan. And White gets the layup inside for the two.
And Royce White, getting back to the string of things, actually, JP, he picked up his footing, which gave him ability to move smoothly and finish off the spin in the shot with the right hand.
Meanwhile, Capers gets the steal. Anderson passes it back to White, and he's going to the line to shoot two.
See, you cannot be afraid when you go inside the paint. You take all charges, you take all contact, and the London Lightning's doing a great job on that. They're really getting back into the transition game that they are accustomed to and most people know about. One of the key figures of why they're the #1 offensive team in the league.
Indeed, with the 115 points per game on the season. That's a heck of a lot of points in one game. As White shoots 2 at the free throw line, makes the first. He is 2 for 2 now, 3 of 3 at the line so far today.
You mentioned those points per game for London, JP. It's a battle of 1 versus 8. If we had a playoff format like that, this would be a tight heavyweight battle. Not saying that it isn't, but when it comes to points per the game, the Windsor Express have just started to average 100 points a game.
And Ellenson gets the ball as Stutz passes it out. His goggles almost fell off his face there as Duncan will reset. Patillo gets the pick, down to 5 on the shot clock, and that's going to be a whistle.
And it's worth noting, too, JP, the last time these guys played on this very court, Wally Ellenson was really getting it in with what I believe with Garrett Williamson. That was a tight contest to go up against between those two heavyweights. Very instrumental on the offensive end, but those two were right at each other's throats.
That was definitely a very intense matchup. Of course, Williamson not playing today due to a 1-game suspension. Stutz gets it for 3, misses. And White's got the board. And Royce White now with 7 rebounds. Finds Kyle Johnson in the corner, and he's got the triple. And London's now up to a 5-point lead, and that's going to be a 7-2 run out of the locker room.
Silencing the WFCU Center faithful right here, JP, with that 7-2 run.
And Patillo silences the crowd with a spin move, and that's going to be a foul off the ball. London, will keep the possession. Windsor here, That is on Kyle Johnson, his third personal foul and the team's second here in this half. And Patillo gives it out to Darren Duncan, finding Ward. Down to 8 as Ward sizing up his man, shoots it over Capers, and he's got the jump shot. Yes, sir.
When you get the step, you gain so much control from it. You could knock down any shot you can. Steal. How about that?
Yes, how about that as Stutz comes down and posterizes Capers.
Wow, Logan Stutz.
Logan Stutz with the absolute poster, getting the steal, the fast break with Ellenson, and then posterizing his man.
The man's out on a lamb with the left-hand jam. Look out.
And hold on one second. Herring Jr. made the layup and then knocked over Ellenson.
I'm sure it was unintentional.
It definitely was unintentional. That is going to be called on Herring Jr., his first personal foul of the game here, as Duncan will bring it down the floor for Windsor. Herring Jr. matched up. Stutz coming around for the hard pick. There's the defensive switch, as Ward finding Stutz inside. A nice, beautiful layup inside.
What a great 2 possessions that Logan Stutz had on the offensive end.
Now he's leading the way in scoring with 13 as Johnson for 3, and he's got the triple.
He lowers the boom from what was a great offensive run by the Windsor Express. London Lightning really seizing the opportunity, getting clear open shots, observing the open floor, and making sure those gaps are filled right before they pick their shots.
Meanwhile, there's a substitution on the floor. Wally Ellenson will go to the bench. Tony Bennett coming in for the Express.
Now, Tony Bennett and Darren Duncan. We see Tony Bennett now playing the 2 spot now since coming back. So, an incredible 1-2 punch for this Windsor Express team. We'll just have to see how much it puts out as Juan Patillo goes on the pull-up.
And a nice, beautiful jump shot from mid-range to get up to 8 points on the night for Patillo. Still a 2-point game as London has possession. White coming around to Anderson. Double team finding White down low, and he almost posterized Stutz, but gets the layup over his head.
How about Ryan Anderson pulling off a Houdini on that one? Royce White was right open, so he decided to pull a few tricks out of his sleeve.
And Anderson pulls another out of his sleeve with the steal and gets the layup inside. Just like that, 4 quick points for London.
Anderson saying time flies when you're having fun, and he's having fun when he has the ball in his possession.
He's been making a major impact defensively, although offensively that's just his second basket, as that's going to be a charge called, as Warren Ward will get the foul as Capers draws it.
Crying shame too, because Ward had a good look to the basket. He just used one muscle too many trying to go right in, and that's where everybody's going to look at the most, the contact and the spacing when it comes to it. He had so much space onto him that it was easier for the officials to call that, so not enough tight space, so he got the foul on that.
That was just Warren Ward's first foul of the game so far, as White, top of the three-point line, finds Anderson for 3. He misses, rebounded by Stutz.
And usually that's his niche, catch and shoot from any area on the court.
Anderson has been quiet offensively as there is another foul, offensive foul. London will get the possession back. And Maurice Jones will come in for Darren Duncan.
I believe they're going to call that one out, JP. Miscommunication on the offensive end for the Express.
It almost looked like an offensive foul, but it looks like he might have stepped out of bounds there on the possession. Pardon me there. Thank you for the help there on that correction. As Herring Jr. called for the over and back.
Now things are getting interesting. The tides are turning, JP.
And the momentum swinging back and forth a little bit. Both teams now up to 10 turnovers apiece with those couple possessions.
Joel Friesen back into the game. A very great player for the Lightning to have, especially in that first half. They have experience, so let's see if all that magic just goes into the second half.
There's a reason he led the team in the game in scoring in that first half. As Ward pump fakes, drops back for the three-pointer, gets it. Warren Ward with the huge triple makes it a 3-point game.
And here's a Ward stepping back with a 3. He was just feeling himself right there, JP.
And meanwhile, Ward will get a second foul on that reach-in. Warren Ward now with 13 points on the night so far. He's been very good for this team so far this season and down the stretch, especially making three-pointer after three-pointer and good shots. Overall averaging 14.3 points per game on the year, with his shooting 38%, as there is a triple meanwhile from Kyle Johnson.
That's got to hurt the Windsor Express defense. They were so deep inside the hole that they forgot to pop out because the Lightning were going to kick out to anybody that was at the 3 anyhow.
London was struggling from outside the arc in much of the first half. Now they're up to 9 triples as Tony Bennett from Riverside Drive misses. And that's going to be a London ball as that bounces off the rim and out of bounds.
You see, that's the type of shots you don't need to take at the moment. You're only down 6. The type of those desperation shots are not needed. Just swing the ball around and the shot will come to you.
6 minutes to go here in this third quarter as London's up by 6. Herring Jr. passes it out of the jump shot, finds Johnson, and he's got 2 straight triples.
And now they're heating up like a microwave, JP, from beyond the arc. A spot that they had trouble with at the beginning of the game, but now they're finally rising up to the occasion.
And just like that, it goes from a 3-point game to a 9-point game. A 6-0 run, a turnover on the missed layup, and Friesen will turn it over to Stutz. Here comes Jones, he can't get the handle, and there's another turnover. Teams both trading turnovers on that, and there's the media timeout. A much-needed one, too, with how things have gone here in the past couple of minutes, wouldn't you say?
I think so, but now this timeout is going to cool off everybody as we go into a timeout ourselves as the Lightning lead by 9. The Windsor Express on Knoxstrom.tv is brought to you by Mastro Roofing and DC Cooling. We thank you for sponsoring this telecast for the entire season.
Correction there, Mastro Kitchen and Tile and Kitchen Studio, pardon there. And it is DC Roofing and Cooling there, as we were making some notes before we were coming live to make sure of the exact wording of both sponsors. We apologize to both sponsors with that flub right there. But we are getting things ready to go here for the media timeout.
Well, with all due respect, the way this game is going, it can't mix things up like that as Warren Ward mixes up the offensive play.
And he gets the layup on the steal right off the inbound. Well, that's a way to make a statement out of the timeout as Friesen comes up and makes the slam.
Once again, he's warming up to the occasion. If there wasn't no Joel Friesen on the court, this game could have gone the other way.
He seemed to walk up in the air like stairs as Maurice Jones gets the layup. And a lot of sizzle and pop right out of the timeout from both sides as London leads by 7. Friesen for 3. Misses. Stutz gets the rebound. He leads the fast break charge. And that's going to be a whistle called, and that's going to be 2 free throws for Logan Stutz.
And it was a good play for the Windsor Express, taking advantage of the numbers situation right there. It was a 3-on-1 opportunity. Logan Stutz was on the left side, so he had a better guide and better look for the ball, and he was the closest one to the basket.
And now he is being rewarded for making that drive on the 3-on-1. As he'll go to the line to shoot 2, 5 of 6 from the line so far, 13 points as well. And he's leading the Express in rebounds tonight with 7 as he makes the first of 2. Windsor slowly crawling back after falling down to as much as 9 points before that media timeout. And they bring it down to 5. Substitution, Royce White back in. Out of the game is Capers. And Herring Jr. will bring it down to start the possession. 4:30 to go here in the third quarter. As Herring Jr. stops, gets the pick from Phillips. Jones with the nice defense, finding Friesen. Friesen in contested land, misses. White misses the putback, and Jones will lead the charge. Jones finding Ward for 3. Yes, sir!
And you and Warren Ward knew the moment it went off his hands, it had no area code to go in besides the rim. That's HOOP.
Great execution there. That's Ward's 4th as a nice shot inside from Royce White. And a quick answer back from London, making a 4-point game again as Stutz sets the pick. Down low to Bennett, passing out to Ward again for 3. Yes,
Whoa.
sir!
Whoa! Whoa!
How about that for a major triple?
Let's not go nuts here, but Warren Ward.
How about that? 5 3-pointers on the night now.
I think we're seeing overtones of what happened in that Orangeville game a few weeks ago.
And Friesen puts it up, and he responds with a triple.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now it's the Joel Friesen Warren Ward program right here on Knockstrom.tv, because these two are just going right at it at their jaws.
And Warren Ward, meanwhile, inside, gets the N1.
Case proven, folks. Case proven. My goodness.
And both of them going back and forth offensively as Ward has a chance to bring it back to 1.
This is the pure epitome of NBL Canada, making sure they get it done. And this is my last time to redeem myself, folks. If not, then I don't know what's going to happen. But the Windsor Express on Knockstrom.tv is brought to you by Mastro's Kitchen Studio and by DC Concrete Raising and Waterproofing. I will have my cookie now, thank you very much.
I guess that's a way to put it, as those sponsors bring you back to a 1-point game. As Phillips, tough defense from the Express. Phillips going through the defense like butter, gets it.
Whoa! Oh my! Marvin Phillips, and I mentioned at the first half, JP, he would be a crucial element for this game to go on. Him and Herring and Friesen. That's a dynamic trio right there.
Believe it or not, that's only his first basket of the game. As Bennett finds Jones down low, and he's got the layup.
Oh my.
The WFCU Center is rocking now with 2:30 to go here in the third. As Kadugan steps through 2 defenders and is called for the travel. No basket called, of course, and that's going to be Express ball.
And you mentioned it, JP. This crowd is right back into it. It's not because of the 401 rivalry. They are complimenting them for the fact that they have improved every single game since February. So this is a big push for them, and this could be a big possession right here.
And Jannard Giroux in the game now for the Express, along with DeAndre Thomas, as he got the inbound. Giroux. Jones, and that's going to be a quick turnover. London will get the ball right back.
Unfortunately for the Express, they succumb to the pressure right on the wing. And that's one of the most deadliest spots in the game of basketball. You got to steer clear of that.
And Kadugan trying to shut through the defense. Finds Johnson. Johnson steps back for 3, and he's got it over Ward.
We're having a Western here, folks. That's all I could explain the way this game is going.
A Western shootout, we should say. Now 13 3-pointers, by the way, for London, 10 for Windsor, as Jones misses his own 3. Rebounded by Royce White. White bringing it down. Matched up against Giroux. Pump fakes, and he gets it in.
Oh, baby.
Good defense there from Giroux, but White still gets the layup.
6-point game, just like that. So
and this was a 1-point game just about a minute ago, as Tony Bennett pump fakes across the court, and that is thrown right into the home locker room of the Spitfires.
Hey, then again, during the offseason, he could try out for them. With the shot like that, you go for the slap shot, you better believe people are going to be looking at you. Now everybody's looking at Tony Bennett, so he could dual sport.
That makes it now 13 turnovers apiece for both sides. As Cadogan calling the play, gives it to Phillips. He puts it up for 3, misses. Anderson with the tap out, finds Phillips. And a good awareness there from Anderson with the tap out. And Cadogan will slow it down. Less than a minute to go in the quarter. Driving, 10 on the shot clock. Johnson puts it up over Bennett. Misses, rebounded by Ward.
And that's how they do it. They let them shoot as long as they can, and they close out on it, which the Windsor Express has been doing a great job for this afternoon.
And a lot of fighting down low in the post, for position rather, between Thomas and Phillips. As Giroux passes it out to Bennett for 3. Just misses. Ward misses the putback. And here comes the Lightning. White falls over, and that's going to be a whistle. Shaquille Keith will come in the game, meanwhile, for Giroux.
Windsor Express foul number 10, Mark Ward, his third personal, team fifth.
Shot clock's still a factor, JP. 5-second difference between it, so in a way, London could look for a good shot, but not the final shot of the quarter.
We'll have to see what they decide to do here as Cadogan setting it up. Waiting patiently as White in the post on Keith. Back out to Cadogan. Jones jumps, finds Anderson. He's open for 3, misses. Jones gets the board. They gotta hurry. 5 seconds to go. Down to 3. Turnover down to 2 as Anderson gets it, and that's gonna be right after the buzzer. As the London Lightning lead after 3 quarters of play, 85-79 here on Knockstrom.tv. We'll be right back in just a few moments here with Windsor Express basketball. And welcome back to Knockstrom.tv's coverage of tonight's action between the Windsor Express and the London Lightning. The Lightning lead 85-79 as we start the 4th quarter. This 4th quarter is presented by Mastro Kitchen Studio and DC Basement Concrete Raising and Waterproofing.
And you know, it sounds much better when you say it, JP, because you got it right the first time. And the way this game is going, it's a roof raiser. It is a roof raiser.
Indeed, the fans are raising the roof with how the energy's been going. London taking a 6-point advantage coming into this 4th quarter. And of course, talking with some of the coaching staff for the Express, they were expecting with an 8-day break to be up by 10 at the end of this one. We'll have to see if they fulfill that promise. We'll have to see. As they'll prepare things here, London has Kyle Johnson, Royce White, Junior Cadogan, Ryan Anderson, and Marvin Phillips on the floor for the Windsor Express. Tony Bennett, Maurice Jones, DeAndre Thomas, Logan Stutz, and Shaquille Keith. And we're underway here in the fourth.
It was an impressive third quarter by both teams. London outscored Windsor 36-30. Phillips.
And Phillips gets the and one as Stutz draws the foul. And Marvin Phillips with just his second made basket from the field today as he'll go to the line to complete the three-point play. And right now, Stutz had just his second foul there, but he has been impressive in his home debut. 15 points, 8 rebounds through 3 quarters. About on par with what he has been doing off the bench with Windsor so far. But it will be interesting to see how he does from in this fourth quarter down the stretch. As Jones, sizing up his man, puts up the jump shot, makes it.
Wow.
And Maurice Jones with a beautiful jump shot.
Lightning in the bottle. How is he able to pull up for a jumper?
And Shaquille Keith almost got the steal. Phillips down low, passes it out to White.
That's a mismatch.
White dribbling, loses the handle, and stolen by Stutz. Here comes Jones, finds Shaquille Keith, finding Tony Bennett for the layup, and he's got it.
From point A to point B. That's why I said at the halftime show, JP, or a little bit after that, why observing the open floor is important.
And Dugan, meanwhile, observed the open floor and drove into the paint for the 2. And a whistle, meanwhile, as that is going to be called on Ryan Anderson, it looks like. It is on Anderson. That's his third personal, as that was on the drive by Shaquille Keith. Jones will inbound it, find Thomas. Double teamed. Putting it up, and he's going to the line to shoot 2. And so far tonight, both teams have been 9 for 11 from the free throw line as they go right back to it.
And you know, usually when it comes to averages, JP, the free throw percentage is very close. London shoots 73% from the charity stripe. The Windsor Express 1% less, 73 to 72. And so far, these free throws from both of these clubs are really living up to how close it is down to that department.
And DeAndre Thomas will miss the first of 2. This is his first trip to the line tonight. And he looks to make it a 6-point game, and he does. 90 to 84, 1 minute into this fourth quarter. Cadogan will bring it down. Phillips sets the hard pick. Cadogan gets the man to jump. Finding Johnson, back to Cadogan, and that's going to be deflected out of bounds. London will keep possession. And Johnson tried to give it right back to Cadogan, but it's deflected out as they figure out who will inbound. And now it'll be Marvin Phillips. Phillips looking for the opening on the inbound, finds White. And Phillips will pull up for 3. Misses. Rebounded by Maurice Jones.
Been a hard knock life for Marvin Phillips behind the arc.
And another pass goes out of bounds right into the Windsor bench this time as London gets the ball back. A couple passes like that are around that area so far tonight, as that's going to be turnover number 15 for Windsor. You're mentioning Marvin Phillips. From the outside arc tonight, he is 0 for 3, just 5 points, 2 for 6 from the field. As Cadogan misses, and that's going to be out of bounds, Windsor ball. Tried to save it before it went out of bounds, but of course he was already lying halfway down the baseline. So that's no close right there. As Jones brings it down. Finding Thomas. And Phillips will poke it loose as Windsor will keep possession. Things are becoming a bit of a chess match here. Both teams shooting just about 50%. Windsor exactly 50%. London 49.3% right now. Both of these teams turning around their offensive games, especially London, who is struggling in the first quarter.
They're all clicking on all cylinders. Logan Stutz tried to go. He gets blocked by Royce White.
And Stutz could not get it to go this time as Phillips goes down, misses again. 2 for 8 now for Marvin Phillips. As Jones passes it to Stutz, and he's going to miss. Thomas tries to save it, and he gives it right to Johnson. Johnson guarded by Keith, gives it to Anderson, cross court to Cadogan for 3. That's off the rim, and White with the rebound. rebound number 10, and that's the double-double, 16 points and 10 rebounds for him. He'll slow the possession down to 10 on the shot clock as Johnson steps back for 3.
Ooh.
And that's not going to even hit the rim, as that's going to be Windsor ball.
You see, Johnson had so much time picking his spot for the 3. London was playing 4 corners on the offensive end, meaning everybody was on one specific corner, but he was tangled up with Royce White at one specific corner. He had so much time to get a shot going, but unfortunately, he spent a little bit too much time. Jones.
And Jones cannot get the layup inside, as that's rebounded again by White. Correction on the rebound total, now 12 for Royce White. As Phillips going around one-on-one with Stutz. Pump fake, goes for the post-up layup, misses, rebounded by Johnson. Johnson puts it up, rolls out, rebounded by DeAndre Thomas.
What is going on with these offensive possessions for both clubs?
And Stutz will stop, finds Shaquille Keith. He keeps it in bounds this time. Maurice Jones finding Stutz in the corner, around to Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett passing it to Thomas, and he's going to the line.
That was a good sequence right there. What an amazing play from the Windsor Express. They moved the ball around, making sure London's players get tired. They did not apply any pressure there at all. The only instance was when they tried to go on the ball on them. Man-to-man defense did not work for them, JP, so they swung the ball around, make sure they get an open look. DeAndre Thomas was there at the right time, was there at the right spot, so he took advantage of it.
Substitutions on the floor, meanwhile, as you were discussing that. Joel Friesen on the floor, Doug Friesen as well. Doug Herring Jr., correction there, as Marcus Capers is also on the floor for the London Lightning, as Thomas missed the first. That's his second miss on the night. And he will set up for the second of 2 free throws, looking to make it a 5-point game. This time he makes it. 1 for 2 of the line right there as Friesen rushing down, calling the play quickly, charging the paint. Puts it up for the layup, misses. Capers gets it, but Herring Jr.'s open on the back door.
Oh, he was lucky he made that one. He looked a little worried right there because that ball kept on bouncing off the rim, has been the case for most of these shots this afternoon.
And a bit of full court press on Jones as he finds Stutz. Rebounded by Friesen.
That wasn't a good shot. Nobody was able to come from Windsor's side to box out for the rebound.
And Anderson, hard screen by White. And that's going to go back to Windsor. Royce White now with his second foul of the game. He has a little discussion with the referee on that call with the hard screen, but regardless, Windsor ball as Jones sets up the play.
Now Windsor needs to set up a play so they can keep on feeding it inside.
It looks like they might be considering that as Thomas going for the pick and roll, but that is off Stutz's foot, and that's going to go back to London.
That's got to hurt Windsor too, because they had so much space they could capitalize on, especially on the left side. They tried to swing it through, but unfortunately it went off the foot. So
the turnovers are starting to mount for Windsor as well. I believe it was 9 each at the end of the first half. Now Windsor's up to 17. London 15 turnovers on the night. As Friesen, hard defense from Thomas, loses the handle as here comes Duncan. And that's going to be an intentional foul, as that was a 4-on-1, and Friesen elects to foul intentionally.
It's a good decision to foul intentionally because Windsor did have numbers. So if you can't take advantage of it, you got to think of a plan B. And in that case, you have to foul intentionally.
I believe that is the 4th personal foul for Friesen, though, so a little bit of foul trouble for a man who's up to 20 points, and that was a pass. It was a pass to a fan, but now it is back to London just like that with turnover number 18.
See, Windsor in this quarter so far has found so many ways to capitalize and get those shots going. But unfortunately, it's those turnovers we keep on going back to, JP, that's really cooking their gooses.
You mentioned that, though, they still are capitalizing when they are forcing the turnovers. 18-7 advantage on points off turnovers, but those turnovers are costing them possessions. A difference already of 9 field goal attempts, as there's a 3 from Capers. Capers now up to double digits with 10 points on the night. Substitution made on the floor on that last stoppage of play. Jannard Giroux back in the game for the Express.
And that could be the difference maker inside.
And Duncan, guarded by White, stops, gives it to Patillo. They're going down low this time with Herring Jr. passing it out to Duncan for three, and he's got the nice triple. Bringing it back to single digits to a 7-point lead for London.
A nice look at a nice triple for DD.
And that's just his second made shot of the night as well. 2 for 6 from the field. As Anderson tries to respond, misses. Here comes Maurice Jones on the fast break. London stops the break, finding Duncan. Keith in the corner for three. He's got the triple.
And Anderson's three-point woes once again leads to a great offensive play for the Express. Shaq Keith
now 3 for 3 from the three-point line. 12 points on the night for him. As Anderson down low to Royce White. Poked loose by Jones, and that's going to stay London possession. As Warren Ward is back in the game, the game's leading scorer, 24 points from him tonight. Huge performance from Warren Ward, and they bring him back in looking for that one big spark plug.
And an excellent exhibition by him this afternoon. Like I said, it has overtones of that game that went to overtime in Orangeville more than a month ago. Johnson.
And Johnson gets the three. 23 points on the night for him now with that triple. And just like that, back to a 7-point game. As Jones passes it to Duncan, guarded by Johnson. Sizing up his man, spinning, passing on the jump pass, stolen by Capers, and here comes Harry Jr. on the fast break, and he'll slam it home. And a timeout called by Coach Jones, as he is not happy with that turnover with 5:50 to go here in this fourth quarter. The London Lightning are up 98-93. We'll be right back in just a few moments here on Knoxstrom.tv. Welcome back, everyone, to Knoxstrom.tv's coverage of National Basketball League of Canada action, presented by DC Basement Concrete Raising and Waterproofing. And we're all set to go here for the final part of this fourth quarter. Of course, there's a lot of action going on across the league, not just this game, a lot of action and a lot of different playoff scenarios taking place across the league. Aaron?
We have two games about to be decided. Well, one game about to be decided, one game already decided. Halifax Hurricanes beat the Moncton Miracles 135-110. And then on the other end of the Atlantic Division, Cape Breton's holding a 4-point edge over the Riptide, 91-87 with 33 seconds to go. And at the half, so far, the KW Titans over the Island Storm, 56-43. And one more lone game, the River Lions giving the Orangeville A's the business, 112-96 with about 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Like we mentioned already, a crucial game and another crucial game right here.
Of course, Niagara is in a must-win situation. Windsor looking to clinch the second seed today with a victory. As Ward gives it to Patillo, almost lost the handle. Passing out to Jones, back to Duncan. Down to 8 as that one's deflected right to Noah Moffat on the bench. And the Windsor Express will keep possession with 7 on the shot clock. A couple of substitutions made on the floor, if you notice. Patillo was back in, of course. Shaquille Keefe stayed in. Anderson, Phillips, Herring Jr., Capers in right now for London as Jones for 3. Misses the buzzer as he misses. Rebounded there for Capers, and that's going to be a whistle on the rebound for an over and back.
Earlier in the game, JP, Windsor has been bullying boards. That was the first half story, but now you look at it, the London Lightning has switched everything around, leading 43-36 in the old boards.
Hold on a second. Windsor got the possession back and must have went out of bounds, and this time it's going back to London. That time, Shaquille Keith could not get the rebound back on the miss. And into the game now again is Stutz along with Tony Bennett.
Well, with Royce White now on the bench, it's a perfect time to take advantage of certain mismatches when it comes to depth and height too. So this is a good move for Bill Jones.
It's becoming a big-time chess match at this point down the stretch with 5 minutes to go almost. Phillips, double-teamed. Patillo trying to strip him. Finds Anderson. He'll stop, find Phillips again. Phillips with the spin cycle, misses. Rebounded by Johnson, and he's got the nice layup inside. A game-high 25 from him.
Kyle Johnson is just really making both ends meet the way his game has been going so far.
And Bennett will come around to set up the play. Finding Jones again. Jones knocks over Capers, and that's going to be 2 free throws, it looks like, for Maurice Jones. Close to being a charge, but instead, Jones will go to the line for the first time tonight. He has been not shooting the ball that well from the field tonight. 3 of 11 shooting, as well as 6 points, but has been distributing the ball well. 8 assists from him, along with his 4 rebounds.
And it's worth noting, too, that Windsor is now in the bonus for the remainder of this game as Patillo tried to tip it back home and misses it. Windsor, they got plenty of fouls to give, but it's a matter of how they take care of that situation and make sure it doesn't go on the other end.
Because Windsor right now has only committed 1 foul in the 4th quarter. So things are getting interesting with now London putting them in the bonus. As Patillo sets up with the first 24, finding Jones. Jones rushing by Anderson, going in for the layup, can't get it to go. Phillips gets the board, and he's out to the races. Finding Capers, and Capers will slow down the offense. Anderson calling for the play. Calling for the pick. Here comes Capers to set it up. Ward guarding Anderson. Anderson driving in, and Stutz with the hard defense gets the rebound. That is now 9 rebounds from Logan Stutz as Ward for 3 misses. That could have been a big 3 with London up by 10 here with less than 4 minutes to go. Herring Jr. will dribble it. Phillips with the pick and fade. Herring Jr. will put it up, and he's got the N1. And it looks like the foul was called before the shot. Was it? No, it counts as an N1 play. Was almost off the floor, but Doug Herring Jr. now with 13 on that N1 to put London up by 12. And he makes it now a 13-point lead as he completes the 3-point play. Jones giving it to Stutz. Back to Stutz from Jones, and he's got the layup. And a nice back and forth play there to get the points.
An interesting high-low pass right there in that situation. Logan Stutz just exploded right off the gate.
And Anderson passing it to Phillips. And Phillips will deflect it off Ward as London will keep the possession. And a timeout called from London. As we'll be back in just a few moments here on Knockstrom.tv. The London Lightning lead 105-94 with 3:23 to go. We'll be right back. This commercial break is brought to you by Mastro Kitchen Studio. Welcome back, everyone, to the WFCU Center. As all the fans are still here in attendance, a couple of them are going to their seats, but this could be still a wild finish because we've seen crazier things happen. We've seen teams come back from down 10, 15 points in the final minute sometimes. Things could change a lot. London up 105-94. Justin Prince alongside Aaron Sanders here on Knockstrom.tv. So, Aaron, what are your thoughts here as we come down the stretch? What do you do if you're Bill Jones to try and claw your way back here with about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left?
If you're the Windsor Express, you really need to calm it down on the passing. We've seen most turnovers come from the second half, and they had that right down pat in the first half. But ever since then, it has been a whirlwind of events for the Windsor Express. On the offensive side, they're not capitalizing, so they got to go with those short passes, and if they're able to give it to Stutz or pretty much anybody that's in the paint, let them do the work and let them get as close to the shot as they can.
We apologize for earlier technical difficulties with the stream freezing up for a few moments as Ryan Anderson gets it. Dribbling, puts it up for three, and he just beats the buzzer. Stutz gets 10 rebounds now as Patillo gives it to Bennett for three. Misses the runner, and Patillo can't get the board, and Patillo's down. He will get up as Johnson will stop as London has the possession. Less than 3 minutes to go. Anderson, and he's fouled by Maurice Jones. And that is just Maurice Jones' second foul, the third team foul in the quarter. Nowhere near the bonus for London-wise, freezer-wise. Of course, Windsor is in the bonus themselves, which could be playing a key role down the stretch as long as you attract the fouls. Wouldn't you say?
Well, I say so. I agree with that 100%. London still got a long way to go, like you said, but now they have the game in their hands. It's just a matter of closing out. For the Windsor Express, they gotta start looking up and try to get some good shots. Jones.
And Jones cannot get it that time. Rebounded by the Lightning as Herring Jr. will bring it down the floor. Jones, hard defense right at the half-court line. Finding Anderson, and Anderson communicating with Phillips across the court, looking for the pick. Anderson will put it up for the pull-up, misses, rebounded by Ward.
Again, Ryan Anderson's trying to get good looks for the three, but it hasn't been working for him today.
0 of 7 from three-point range as Ward misses this time. Patillo with the offensive rebound. Finds Ward again, and Windsor will reset. Jones, double-teamed. Gets the defender to jump. Barely gets it to Ward, and he misses it in the corner. Stutz with a tap out, and it's going to be picked up by Capers.
That was a risky pass on the other end. Very risky.
Very risky indeed. That was almost a steal there. Instead, Windsor can't capitalize on the second chance points on 2 misses as Capers will get fouled here. Windsor starting to look to make it to the bonus with that one.
The Windsor Express, JP, in their last 7 games, they have gone 3-4. Unfortunately, if they lose this one, this would be 2 in a row for them. So they don't want to get on the losing strand as they head on for their final 2 home games of the season.
Of course, their final 2 home games coming up in the next few days on Wednesday and Friday. As Herring Jr. sizing up Stutz. Gets by Stutz, misses the layup, and Stutz is called for the foul. And that's going to be foul number 5 for the Express. And 3rd personal for Logan Stutz. Shaquille Keith will walk towards the bench to discuss things with Bill Jones. In fact, he'll be taking... No, he will just stand in the corner. Pardon me there. As Herring Jr. goes to the line to shoot 2. Second time tonight to the line as he makes his second free throw of the night. And he will look to make it a 15-point London lead with this one, and he makes it swoosh.
Now Windsor's got to keep level-headed. London's doing a great job. They capitalized on the turnovers this afternoon, and that was the key difference here.
And there's a basket inside, answering right back to the 2 free throws, making a 13-point game again. That time, Logan Stutz. Stutz has the double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds for the Express. Anderson going to Herring Jr. in the post. Posting up Jones. Passing it out. Phillips saves it from going out of bounds. Herring Jr. with 2 on the clock. Just misses. And Keith gets it. Less than a minute to go. 13-point lead for London. as Patello gets it down low, rejected, and here's Anderson saving it from going out of bounds. London will get it. Herring Jr. will dribble it to half court. And they will slow things down as they look to get win number 33 on the season tonight, as Stutz gets the intentional foul.
There's so many candidates for the game ball this afternoon. You could name Joel Friesen as one of them. You could also name Kyle Johnson onto him. But when it came down to it, they really buckled down on a situation that was very close. And in this 4-1 rivalry, they're going to go up 6-1.
And Phillips will miss the shot meanwhile, as this is now a 5-second difference between shot clock and game clock as they try to add a little sizzle to that shot. Patillo can't get the alley-oop, and London will draw things out. It was a close game at halftime, tied up at 49. London gets the momentum down the stretch and gets their 33rd win of the season, as they will beat the Windsor Express 109-96 here on Windsor's home floor.
Big kudos to the London Lightning. I mean, of course, this, like we mentioned throughout the whole telecast, this was a statement game. Windsor is going to have to play another day in order to claim second spot. And for the London Lightning, they win 6 in a row.
6 in a row, and they also tie a franchise record for most wins in a season with this one. A huge victory for London here in Windsor. And Windsor, of course, played a great game overall, but just could not capitalize in the end and just could not keep up with London's pace down towards the end. As Logan Stutz finishes with 19 and 10, the Windsor Express players get a standing ovation from the fans here at the WFCU Center. Warren Ward leads the scoring for Windsor with 24 points, 25 points from Kyle Johnson. It was 16 points and 12 rebounds for a double-double for Royce White, 20 points for Joel Friesen. A lot of players can get the game ball here, but overall, what are your last thoughts here as we end things off here on WFCU?
Well, if you're the Lightning, you've got big kudos. You got a big advantage heading on to you as you play against the Island Storm at Bud Gardens this Tuesday night. They're looking for redemption, of course, because they lost a heartbreaker 105-101 a couple of weeks ago. But if you're the Windsor Express, you gotta wipe this game clean off, because you know it's those type of games where you can win or lose. There's one decision onto it when it comes down to it. But turnovers was the key factor to why they lost it. They had so many good looks at the baskets, but they did not capitalize on that. So you got to erase it, slate clean, and come 72 hours, you got to come up banging.
You mentioned that London needed to attack the paint more in the second half. They did that. They outscored Windsor in the end in points in paint, 46-40. So they accomplished that. They got Royce White back in the game out of the locker room. They put a fire underneath themselves to get this win here for the London Lightning.
And Royce White got another double-double too. So this has no end in sight, I believe, for the London Lightning. You said they tied their franchise record, and if all goes well for them for the rest of the week, they're going to be setting way more records than that.
And both of these teams have a few games to go on the schedule. The London Lightning play against the Island Storm, like you mentioned, on Tuesday down at Budweiser Gardens. That will tip off at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Knockstrom.tv, while they will also stay at home for their final game of the season against the Orangeville A's. That tip-off is at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is also on Knockstrom.tv.
And we're back at it, too, the day after the Island Storm game Wednesday night, as the Windsor Express will play the Island Storm. So we got a busy schedule set out for us, JP, so cannot wait for that one.
And of course, Windsor has their last home game on April the 28th against the Halifax Hurricanes before finishing off their year against the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. And overall, this will wrap things up here from the WFCU Center. You've been watching a broadcast from NockstromDigital.tv and Knockstrom Digital Media, producing media excellence in southwestern Ontario and in southern Ontario as a whole. The London Lightning win this one to tie a franchise record, 109-96. Have a good evening, Windsorites.